Howdy ho YouTube, Major Cord here. You are currently looking at what I like to call my box of shame. This isn't where I keep my naughty photos. Those are actually on a separate hard drive. But this is where I keep all my cheap, crappy knives. So I figured today I would break into the box of shame and review a knife. And I wanted to figure out an interesting way to do this, so I figured we'd just do it grab bag style. So basically, I'm just going to reach in, stick my hand in, close my eyes. You're just going to have to take my word for the fact that I'm closing my eyes. I really am. And I'm hoping that some of the knives in here aren't open, otherwise I'm going to have some pretty nasty cuts. And we're just going to pull out a knife and see where we go. So, let's get to work. Okay, I have one in my hand. And it's kind of funny that it happens to be this one, because this is one of the knives in here that I actually have personal experience with. A lot of these are knives that I got as Christmas presents from family members. And any of you who are knife lovers probably have experience with this. You get lots of knives, and by lots I mean like maybe your family shops on eBay, and they give you lots of eBay knives for Christmas, blind package knives, stuff like that, and you really are never going to use them, so they go in a junk drawer. But you're too sentimental to get rid of them, and then you end up like me. But yeah, this actually is a knife that I purchased on my own, I think 2, maybe 3 years ago. On a whim, it was my first neck knife, actually. It is, God, what's the brand? Is there a brand? I have no idea. I think it might be made by Fury. Fury or, Frost. I don't know, it could be one of any dozens of companies that make an identical knife. I know Smith & Wesson sells an identical neck knife, and they sell it for about 4 times the price that I paid for this. I think I paid $3 or $4, maybe 5, and that's pushing it. But it originally came with a piece, just cheap nylon cord to hang it around your neck, and this, which used to be a whistle, it had a piece of plastic in there to enact the whistling function. I'm pretty sure that doesn't work anymore. Yeah, that doesn't work, because I took out the plastic. And that never worked very well to begin with. But the sheath retains via this little notch in the handle, which goes into the sheath here on either side. And it retains well. I mean, the knife isn't coming out, so I can't really fault that. It's a decent sheath, at least, if the knife isn't total crap. But it's just a molded plastic sheath. Nothing really special there. And I'll get to the modification I made to that in a minute, after we touch on the knife a bit. So, the weight of the knife can't be more than maybe 2 ounces. Your handle scales are just black plastic, which are probably glued on. And it's just a solid piece of stainless steel here with some holes cut out for weight and style. Of course, made in China, as all of these high-quality knives are. And we are, of course, not sure of the type of stainless steel. If I had to wager a guess, I would say 440A, maybe 420, something like that. We're not talking high quality. However, I was able to get it to a pretty decent edge. Not that it would hold an edge very long, but I mean, I'm probably gonna eat my words, but I mean, there we go. It cuts. I mean, if you're able to get something like this to an edge, it will cut. However, it's not going to hold an edge very long. And this, of course, was also my first Tonto knife. So the problem with this being, it was both Tonto and a chisel ground. And at the time I got this, the only knife sharpener I had was one of those crappy pull-through sharpeners. So, of course, I dicked up the edge, trying to sharpen it in that. I'm pretty sure I redid it on my ceramic rods. And actually feeling this now, I can feel a burr here on the front of the Tonto, so I must not have done a very good job there if I did this front part at all. There's a definite burr on this edge. If this will focus, maybe you can see that. There's a definite burr there. So, while we're this close, you can actually see the black coating is actually really just paint. It's nothing high quality. There is a slight recurve in this belly of the blade, which is just going to make it more of a pain in the ass to sharpen while you have it there. But ergonomically speaking, this knife is surprisingly not that bad, at least in the front portion of the blade. You have some decent jimping, both at the front on top for your thumb and at the bottom, which locks your fingers in. For your middle two fingers, it's also fine, but then it does this weird pinky thing in the back where it kind of expects your pinky just to rest like this. And I find that weird. So, not the most comfortable, but for a $2 or $3 knife, it's really not that bad. And I actually did carry this knife pretty extensively for a little while back when I was in this phase of believing I really needed to have a tactical blade on me. I attempted to carry this as a boot knife. And an in the waistband knife. As you can see, I took one of these Night Eyes Eclipse self-locking clip things, and I just stuck it to the sheath here. So, I mean, the adhesive is still holding, as you can see. And the way I have it set up to carry, that's actually probably not going to be a very good idea, but here we go. I mean, set up to carry, basically all the sheath is hidden and only the handle protrudes from whatever I'm carrying it in. So if it's in the waistband, it's going to conceal pretty well, and I didn't understand the concept of a boot knife when I created this. I didn't realize you needed a bigger clip, so this actually ended up being a sock knife. I would clip it to the top hem of my socks, and then put those in my boots. Yeah. And I mean, this E-clip would really stick into the sock, though, so it was not going anywhere. And it was surprisingly comfortable, because this, against your skin, you really don't feel it. But this was kind of my failed tactical experiment. And for what it was, it did okay. But it's kind of one of those pieces of my collection that I'm embarrassed to still say that I own. Because it harkens back to a day where I was kind of one of those, I don't know, I don't want to say tactical gurus, but there are a lot of knives that I purchased back then that I no longer carry. Let's just say that. And this is certainly one of them. Just because it really has no purpose for me anymore. Yeah. The thought of me using this for anything other than a couple laughs now is frightening. But at the same time, it's one of those pieces of my collection that I don't think I could ever give up, purely for the sentimental value of it. But it still goes in the box of shame, because it really is a shameful piece of crap. So thank you very much for watching. I have a feeling this is going to become a recurring series on this channel, because there's a hell of a lot of steel and plastic in that box that just begs to be beat on. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.